Welcome back to MagicGatheringStrat. I'm Dan. I'm trying to cover all the matchups in Pauper. And this is the matrix I'm trying to fill. Look at this column, the win percentage. After yesterday's win against is opposed, Delver is now at the top. Of course, this 100% for Delver Fiend is just two matches. But if you count any deck with 10 plus matches, I am now 79% with Delver, whereas I'm also 79% with Rotwolf Control. But I will now go into the deep water and face the arch enemy with Delver. Okay, the arch enemy probably is opposed, but I will try to face cweaver, who is currently AFK, with Mezzel's Delver deck, and cweaver is a Stompy expert. So it will be Delver versus Stompy, the showdown. We're gonna play the matchup twice, and I will try to tell you what to think about as the Delver player. The problem here is that he is a good Stompy player, and I am just an average Delver player. So let's see what happens. And here we go. And we're off to the races. So it's Delver versus Stompy. And I think the most important thing here is to flip that Delver. And we do have the flip Delver in hand here. Oh no! The challenge function doesn't work very well here. Sad, I like that hand. And I know I will need all the help I can if I'm gonna win against cweaver. So let's see if I get the right deck. I do still want to play first. This is a lot worse of a hand. And I don't think I can even keep it. He has 20 spells that kill the Phantasmal Bear. I do have the Piracy Charm. I will be getting some Cloud of Fairies and stuff, but it's like nothing going on in this hand. So I am mulliganing. And this is pretty bad, but it's 3 lands. He took a mulligan too. And he's now mulliganing to 3 cards, to 2 cards, to 1 card. Well, we are gonna play this match several times. Do you ever mulligan to 0 cards? Aren't you better off just keeping the 3 cards you have? And you think I would do this video over, but I want to cover matches like this. And I think he has just made an enormous mistake. Because if he kept 3 cards and then draw a forest, he would have a fighting chance. Maybe he only has 2%. But in tournaments you can't really afford to give up those 3%. So I have spells that sprite, I have the grace. Oh, ouch. Okay, I still think there was a chance, about 1 or 2%, that he would have won that game. And I think it was a mistake to quit. So my sideboard here, from the Delver plan, which is not secret, we are going to take in 2 Stitch Tricks and a Boomerang. We are taking out the Bass, because they are bad. And we're also taking out Una's Grace. Where are our bears? They are hiding. let's look at this way. There they are. Move all of them to the sideboard and Ona's Grace to the sideboard. And actually Mezzel has, since Pauper Walkthroughs, he's changed and he has now 4 coral nets in his sideboard. I haven't done the change because I like the way my sideboard plan looks, but he's probably correct. Yeah, that guy is a problem, to say the least. And Delver is immune until he flips, but then he might be in trouble, though we can kill a Queen Ranger with the Piracy Charm. We will have to naturally flip here. We can also snap the Scattershot Archer. Though we can't do anything about Hornet's Sting. And there is Queen Ranger, and he will die. We are gonna have to hardcast the Ninja. We are not under any big pressure here, so, and we can cycle the fairies, so we don't have an enormous problem. The snap is very useful in this matchup, and him beating down with 1 archer isn't the end of the world. But now the beatdown commences, and the best thing I can find to do this turn is to keep snap open and then cycle a Cloud of Fairies at the end of his turn. Snapping in response to Rancor and hoping that he doesn't Winds of West with it. And if he does, it's just a major blowout. But nothing much happens, except that I get beaten down. Piracy Charm. Can't really do much. Maybe get rid of his card. That's just a wild call. I don't know if that's any good. Oh, it's a gather carriage that I will not receive in my face. Oh, gushing here seems so awful. One, 2, 3, 6 damage. I will cycle. Trying to find something. I mean, now I could actually cast the Spy Golem next turn, so I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna take the 6 damage like a man, and then try to defend myself with the Spy Golem. And drawing 1 land would be very useful, because then I would have the backup, but no such luck. And I should probably gush after this, if Spy Golem lives, which is highly unlikely. And you see how Scattershot Archer just stops me in my tracks. Ledgewalker! And his second card is probably a growth spell. But I can't afford to take any more damage. But it wasn't a growth spell. So I now have some sort of control. I'm casting this. Instead of wasting a card here, I should probably snap something. And it might just be the archer, really. And then I could play a Cloud of Fairies. And spell stutter the archer. Wow, this deck is broken. Well, that felt pretty good. I think he suspects the spell stutter sprite. Everybody suspects the spell stutter sprite. My guess is that Stompy is a big favorite in this matchup with Hornet Stings and that kind of thing. Okay, Shinnon. Do I want Shinnon to live? It's super dangerous. But if I spell stutter him, the archer will come into play, but let him. I don't want him to be able to get past my whole team. So we are allowing it. And we will save the spell stutter sprite with the ninja. Is it this important to draw, or do I want to counter? I think it is important to draw. Yeah, that will be pretty good next turn. But can we rely on Spy Golem here to hold the fort? There's a lot of people coming to knock down the fort. And even one Wines is lethal. Unless I block a Nettle Sentinel. So I should definitely slow down here. But the ninja makes a great blocker. Not a great blocker, but a somewhat mediocre blocker, who can actually block Nettle Sentinels and kill them. So I forgot to use the Brainstorm. But I think I'm now hiding behind Spire Golems and counterspells. And I will Brainstorm at the end of his turn this time. And I have to wait for the next snap or boomerang. But eventually I will get rid of that archer. And great joy will be part of my life. He is flooding horribly. Rancor seems pretty broken. It's definitely not okay. Quick Quicksand should help. Gush and Ninja. Ninja now costs 2 and the Spy Golem. It's better to cast the Ninja next turn. So we can draw the Ninja next turn. We're sending down an island and the Ninja. And we can actually hard cast Gush the turn after that. So we are just gonna hang back and watch the card advantage grow. But Queeron Ranger, he is... I can actually counter this Queeron Ranger now. Because I could play a Spell Stutter Sprite, and then it resolves, and he will have to kill it. Then I could play the other Spell Stutter Sprite. And then get the Spell Stutter Sprite back to my hand with Ninjas. So I think I will do just that. Getting some use of them. That probably means he can't attack now. And I can just have a party here. So what if I attack with the Ninja? Nah, probably not. But we are spell stuttering this Ninja. Drawing some more cards. It's an island. And I think I'm fairly happy to Gush now and not hardcast it. And there's another Ninja. Alright, so if we now Ninja again with the Spy Golem, the Ninja costs 2 and then the Spy Golem costs 2 to cast. We won't be able to counter, so we'll have to wait one more turn to do that, except that we can't really counter now, so but we don't want him to know that. Or do we really care? No, we don't really care. We want to have something happen. Am I being too impatient? Telling him that I can't counterspell him. Does that good game mean that he can now kill me? Or he conceded? I think that was quite premature. I would love to see that play out. But we are going to do this twice. And here is the second game. Do I want to mulligan? This is total crap, but I do have the brainstorm, I have the snap, I am going to keep it. I don't know how well I don't know how well this deck mulligans, but I think it should mulligan quite well. Let me know if you think this was actually mulligan. Well, trying to quicksand this guy sounds like a recipe for disaster. So I will just brainstorm at the end of I'm asking him how he feels about the matchup. I think Stompy is highly favored. When I was playing Stompy with 4 scattershot archers and 3 longbows in the board, I was, I think, 75-25 against Delver. But of course this Mezzel build is better at defense than a normal Delver deck. And in this matchup you are definitely the control deck against Stompy. So let's see what happens. cweaver says that he is pretty awful against Delver, but that Stompy isn't. And if you're a Stompy player, this seems like a very, very, very important matchup to practice, because it's one of the most common matchups you will ever face. I had to wait there because I didn't know if he was playing another land or not. It might make a difference in some universe. Okay, there are 2 ninjas, so I probably don't need 1. And I'm not gonna play the quicksand here. Or am I? No, I'm not gonna play the quicksand yet. But I'm not gonna play the spy golem either, so I'm sending that back. Okay. So possibly I should snap here. But it's better to keep snap as a defensive measure and then brainstorm if he doesn't. Or snap if he doesn't, because then I can exclude it. So I'm letting him hit me so he doesn't. But he only has 1 mana. No, I'm doing it at the end of his turn, so he can't recast it, so I can have the exclude. I'm not very worried about Young Wolf. And I am returning this guy to hand. And of course I get to untap the lands then, so I can do stuff like brainstorming. So I can only play 1 island, so I can send 1 island back, and I can still send the Spire Golem back. My plan is now to exclude, take 3 damage, and play Spire Golem next turn. So now I'm pretty vulnerable to like the Rancor and stuff. And my board is just screaming exclude here, but he can't really afford not to play it. And of course hitting a pit scalp with an exclude is just fantastic. Spy Golem represent counterspell. I feel inclined to gush for counterspell if there's something really important happening. But I do want to be able to ninja and cast the Spy Golem again. So I'm going to brainstorm in response here, looking for Piracy Charm, and there it is. So I'm sending Gush back and the Spy Golem back. And of course Gather Courage will save him, but at least he will be forced to use it. I see a groundswell in my future. And I might just let that happen this time, because I know he can't do it next turn. So I'm just gonna take the damage here. But he can Howl Pack, of course, because of my stupid Piracy Charm. Yeah, there we go. So I definitely need to be looking for stuff next turn. Okay, I can Ninja and I can Spy Golem. And hopefully the Ninja finds something useful. I definitely need a Snap. Mana is scarce. Drawing one more island would be awesome. So Ninja hits him, and we know what we're drawing, right? But I forgot about it. So we are gushing now. No, we're casting. We are throwing a Spy Golem under the bus here. So any growth spell now kills us. Gushing for an answer, but it's too late. And I think we are just dead here. We could actually draw in one mana, and if he grows the young wolf, oh my god. If he grows the young wolf, we can gush for the Piracy Charm to kill the young wolf in response to a growth spell, and that's our like only chance to survive another turn, but then we will have no lands. So we are blocking the Ninja, the Sentinel. And going for the crazy Piracy Charm Gambit on this Groundswell. So that's a blue mana. It's a gush. And we don't find it. So we're 0-1 in this second match. We're bringing in Stitch Drake and the Boomerang, taking out Ona's Grace and Phantasmal Bears. I could see bringing in more Boomerangs for Gushes, but it's not what Mezzel told me. I think the Gush is the card he takes out for the Coral Nets. So let's see. Delver versus Stompy, the showdown. And if we end up 1-1 here, I am not feeling too good about it, because he mulliganed to 0 in the first game. And then it's pretty easy to win. So it's time now for Scattershot Archer Hell. And I remember a time when we discussed, it was in April-May 2012, we discussed whether you should be playing Hidden Spider or Scattershot Archer. But in the end, Scattershot Archer won out, and rightfully so. I'm playing first. Delver. And that's just awesome, because flipping the Delver, it's so powerful. He takes a mulligan. And he didn't mulligan to 0 again. And we are playing Delver! Yahoo! He's playing Metal Sentinel. So let's flip that Delver. Let's flip him the Delver. No! The Delver is not flipping. I hate it. But we should probably snap and hit him for 1. Or should we? It seems extremely aggressive and I can't really do anything else. So I'm not gonna do that. He is hornet stinging my Delver. And I could now actually save my Delver with snap. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Though letting him die and then casting Stitch Drake, it would be a very vulnerable Stitch Drake. Because now I will cast Spy Golem and he will probably die. Except that I have double Delver. So I think it's double Delver time. Then one of them will hopefully die. And we can cast Stitch Drake. Otherwise we are casting Spy Golem. And Gush feels very, very slow here. Queeron Ranger about to do his stunts. Yes. Stunting along the way. Rancor. Exile a creature from your graveyard. So I might actually throw Spy Golem under the bus next turn. Random Groundswell. It's probably correct. But his cards are fading fast. This flip is pretty critical. And I think I'm playing Spire Golem and gushing immediately. And now I could snap the Nettle Sentinel. And actually charge him with these two Delvers. Happy to trade for a Queer Ranger. And happy to draw out a Gather Courage if it happens. So do I Ninja? Then I will have no Delvers left on the field. But I will have cards. So I think it's okay to Ninja an unblocked Delver here. And of course he got a carries there, but it's another card less for him. And another card that I get. Though most of my cards are islands. And we have an active Stitch Drake next turn. We do also have the threat of a Ninja. Safe hold delete. Renka. Getting rid of Queeron Ranger seems to be a good thing. So I can actually attack with the Ninja here. Have him block. And when he casts Rancor again, I can Parasy Charm the target of the Rancor. So save all delete dies. And Mr. One Use Ninja is also dead. Now let's try this Pirate's Charm trick, and it will of course not work if he casts any grow spells, and then I will just look stupid. But it could work. It's worth a shot. I could have double Pirate's Charm as well, so gives him something to think about. Nettle Sentinel is okay. Now he really needs to have 2 specific cards to succeed in doing his stunts, and I think he will. And then, as I know one of his cards is Rancor, this will work, and then he will be able to land his Rancor, but he could have landed the Rancor on Nettle Sentinel. So I feel okay about that. Getting to 1.5 for 1 him. But I'm at 10 life and he is at a lot more. So let's flip him the Delver! Flip Mr. Delver! Do you want to reveal the card? Yes, I want to reveal the card. And it's a pretty good card. So I think we are just gonna swing for the fences, or maybe not. Do we actually let Spy Golem die here? And just cast the... I think that's what we're doing. Or is the safer measure just to boomerang the Nettle Sentinel? I might be wrong. But I am gonna trade with the Nettle Sentinel here. So Stitch Drake is out of Mezzel sideboard. And I think it's an awesome card against Stompy. If he did draw a growth spell, his Nettle Sentinel will live. But I think I'm still in command, so I will block. He didn't enable the groundswell. And I'm not scared of a Howl Pack. And I will now kill him next turn. And I got this boomerang telling me I'm okay. And I will cast it in response to a growth spell. Because I am not afraid. He didn't play land, which I think is a mistake. He should have represented it. And the huge flying guys swing for the win. So we are off to the final game. Delver against Stompy. Won the first one 2-0. This one is 1-1. And I am now seriously thinking about playing Delver in the tournament, because this is now the highest win rate of any deck I have. And I think, I never thought this, but I think my playstyle is bad for Stompy and good for Delver. I think I'm an aggro control player. It's a hard thing to realize, but these results with Delver is just off the charts. And my results with Delver is a lot better than my results with blue-black Trinket control. I'm now, if I win this, I'm 21-5 with Delver. And that includes matches against Storm and Infect. I have the Delver, I have the Cloud of Fairies, I have the Stitch Drake. I am all set for the party. So, what is the key to the Stompy deck? I think the Stompy deck needs to be a lot more controlish than usual. What did you sideboard out, cweaver? Let me know. I would have sideboarded out groundswells and carriages, but it's hard. This is Mr. Delver! Going snap into Cloud of Fairies if he doesn't find a Scattershot Archer is just a fantastic tempo play, and then having two huge flyers. But if I lose now, I might not be as encouraged to play Delver. So this is an important match. It's Rancor! Yeah, sometimes you see versions of the Delver deck with other colors in it, and I think they're missing the point entirely. You need to hit your mana every turn, because the early turns are so critical to Delver. Queer Ranger. That means I get rid of the Nettle Sentinel, but do I get to flip the Delver? No, I don't reveal the card. I will play Snap on the Nettle Sentinel. I will attack with the Delver, but I will first play Cloud of Fairies. And this is far from over. I will attack. This is mainly to enable the Stitch Drake and maybe get rid of his, but he didn't take the bait. I am going to block Queen Ranger with the Cloud of Fairies here to enable Stitch Drake. Is that stupid? It probably is. And I won't accomplish a lot by it. He enables Groundswell. Shinnen. That's cute. And no Rancor. So I guess people will just die next turn instead. So, and I can play the Spy Golem. So I'm not in any danger here. But if I don't flip that Delver, then Shinnen can just eat stuff. So I pretty much need to flip the Delver. Quite critical, and I am a luck box, so I reveal Brainstorm. That was pretty lucky. So I can now hit him for 7. And whatever flyer I'm gonna cast now will suffer horribly. But Spy Golem, your mission is to block Kinnan and get Groundswell to hell. But it might just be enough to stop the bleeding together with Mr. Stitchdrake. So throw a lot of toughness under the bus while Delver does its dirty deeds. But I was really lucky to flip that Delver there. I'm really lucky that he hasn't drawn a Scattershot Archer, because Scattershot Archer, Queeron, and yeah, all the Delvers are dead. And what happens if you cast the Scattershot Archer now? They are... oh no, yeah, of course. Well played, Sea Weaver. And I forgot about it again! Queeron Ranger has to die. Always. And that's unfortunate, because I don't have 6 power. So he will just kill everything. But now I will get to kill him, because now I have 9 power. I have 8 power, so I can kill him through a Gather Carriage. But if he has a Groundswell, which he probably does, he's safe. And he wipes my entire team, but he doesn't have the Groundswell. But he does get to kill... what? Yes, there is a misplay somewhere along the line here. Did he fail to play the land? I think he did. He might still come out on top, because a lot of my stuff is going down here. And he still has a full grip. But guess who's coming to the rescue? Exactly when I need to refill my hand. I need to draw land here as well. Naturally I do. But I'm not out of danger. I'll brainstorm at the end of his turn. And I think had he not misplayed there, he would have won this game. I think. It might be his frustration with Delver that kicks in. Actually forcing him to use a growth spell here looks pretty good. So I'm gonna block. He seems to be collapsing under the weight of aggro control. Sea Weaver, Chris, you're playing very differently than you did when you played Stompy versus Stompy. Just crushed me. It's another growth spell to the crows. Piracy Charm can be very relevant here. I want to play Delver Stitchdrake. Yeah, and save the spell status sprite and the Piracy Charm for later. So the question is, do I attack with the ninja? Probably not. And given that we have the Piracy Charm, we do have lethal next turn. So we're playing Delver, Stitchdrake. And I think Stitchdrake is quite the sideboard card here. Trinket. So, can he kill me? He can do 13 damage. But I don't see him killing me. So I'm not gonna block. Because I'm gonna kill him. Unless he winds a Westwood me. But then he can't kill me next turn, I guess. So I'm just gonna take this. Could be groundswell, gather carriage. But it wasn't. And there's Mr. Pitskalk. So let's see if we flip the Delver again. Oh, we knew that. I knew that. Okay, so Winds of Westwood will save him. I am going to attack with the ninja. No, I can spell stat the sprite, the Winds of Westwood, so I'm good. But let's give him something to think about. And this is something I've never done before. I never cast Paris Charm on my own guys. That's something I always forget about. But not this time. So, Piracy Charm for the win! And that's it! Thank you for watching Magic Gathering Strat. I'm Dan, and I've been playing Delver against Stompy. And thank you, cweaver, for being my sparring partner.